I guess I need to make sure everyone can hear me. Oh, I can hear myself now. Coffee Dog, howdy man, how you going? Just double check my audio is all good. Boris is back. Boris, thanks for joining in. We've got 8 people already. All right, awesome. My audio is working. I just wanted to try this again. It's been a little while since I did a live stream, and yeah, I've come across some funny stuff over the last few days, and I thought I'd share some of this with everybody. It's going to be a bit of a different, well, it's going to be the same live stream as I always do, I guess, but I'm going to explain a couple of things that seems to be happening more regularly here in terms of the live gig scene. So I guess my first question is anyone that's already watching, is anyone currently gigging anywhere or trying to get gigs? That would be my first question. If not, I'll explain a little bit about what's going on. So I got offered this last minute gig, this venue. All right, hell, here we go. Hey, we've got a new subscriber, Jalen XO. Howdy, thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate that. That's cool. Let me know where everybody's from, as per always as well. I always like finding out where people are. And I know it's probably really late in some parts of the world right now. It's almost 1 p.m. here. So yeah, I usually start a little bit earlier than this, but I thought maybe this will work for different places around the world. So anyway, if I'll get back to what I was going to talk about. This live stream will be a mix of stuff. So if anyone's got questions, you can let me know, and I'll get back to you as well. So we've got people from Oklahoma, Turkey, the Virgin Islands. It sounds pretty nice. Yeah, cool. It's always Florida, Satch, 72. Awesome stuff. It's my favorite state in the US. One of my favorite states, I should say. I like a few, but I've been to Florida like 10 times now. I love it. Everyone goes, why do you go to Florida? Isn't it all old people all the time? I'm like, nah, I love Florida. So all my friends are down there. I guess that's part of the reason most of my friends in the US are down there. So, all right, we've got Joel Pickett, who does some wedding and engagement gigs. That's cool. Southeast Missouri, William Horton, welcome. And if you see me looking this way, I got 2 screens set up, so I don't mean to keep looking away from the camera, but it's just the chat's over here. So I might move this across, actually. It might make things a little easier on my neck as well. Let's do this. I want to make sure I can see the chat. That's the most important thing here. It doesn't allow me to do that. All right, this is going to have to do. All right, there we go. All right, so we got yeah, people from all over the place. So thanks for dropping in. I know. Hey, Daytona, Florida. There we go, Jason. All right, cool, man. So, all right, I'll take a few questions first, and then I'll get to what I was getting at. So, Damon Butts, I apologize if that's not pronounced properly. He asked me what I think of the full tone plimsoll. I've always liked that pedal. I think it sounds great with certain combinations. If you're on a clean amp and you click it on, it's got a really modern, really blues rock tone that almost can't be beat in terms of what it does. I've had 2 of them. I bought one, sold one, and bought another one. They're really great sounding pedals. The only thing for me is they can sound a little fizzy if you have too much of the second gain thing on. There's like the 2 gain stages, that small pot. I used to leave that all the way off. Basically just use the fundamental 3 controls that were on the front. It's a great pedal if you like modern tones. Definitely check it out. I think it's a great pedal. It's a really great pedal. So Boris asks me, can you tell me the differences between the DD6 and DD7? The DD7 is the newer one. That's all I got, man. Hang on, let me have a look. I'll have a look while we're on the chat. I actually own the DD7, so let me have a look at the DD6 and I'll let you know. I know some of them don't have all the features of the 7's, kind of like an all-in-one. Let me have a look here. And yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping in. We've got 16 people already. That's cool. All right. Yeah, so it looks like, from what I can tell already, the DD6 has less options on it, I think. Yeah, it doesn't look like it has an analog mode. So the DD6, yeah, looks like it just has a few less features. That's what I was expecting. The 7 is the way to go. If you're after a new one, just get the 7. A lot of people say that I think it's the 3 is the one to go for, but they're all the same, man. So if you haven't bought either, just get the new one. That would be my suggestion. All right, cool. All right, so Jalen asks, what's my favorite microphone that I've ever recorded with? It's kind of like a mixed question, man. I got favorite mics for different things, but if you're talking about electric guitar, the Rode M3 microphone would be my favorite. I think that's great. I also like 57s. I think they always sound good. If I'm recording vocals, the Rode NT2A would be one of my favorites. The NT1 as well. I'm a huge Rode mic fan, not because they're made in Australia, but because they're really great. And I've had some of them for 10 years. If I'm recording acoustic guitar, the Rode NT3, I got 2 of them, had them, one of those for almost 10 years now. I'm using it on my most current album, which is like I'm doing a Tulsa sort of sound album, which is weird coming from where I live, but it's going to be, the JJ Cale Knopfler kind of sound, in terms of Knopfler solo stuff. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of acoustic recording with Rode NT3s, and I'm also using the NT1 as well. They all sound good. So I don't have a particular one favorite mic for everything, but if I'm playing live and I'm singing, I like the JTS microphones for live stuff. I think they're really good. I've got a handful of those as well. I used to have a studio years ago, and over the course of 5 years, or maybe longer than that, I just accumulated stuff that I needed for recording situations, and I've got most of those microphones in my collection still. I don't think I've really sold any. I might have sold a few, but yeah, for value for money, the Rode stuff will last you a long, long time. Same with the short stuff as well. Short stuff's pretty good. All right, so let me just go through the chat here, see what I've missed. There's about a 10 or 12 second delay too, folks. So if you're wondering why I'm a little slow or whatever, that's why. Could be something else going wrong in here as well. But all right, we got Archie from Cookeville, Tennessee. I'm going to be in Tennessee this year, 2016. Wow, in 4 months. I'll be there for the Nashville NAMM, so I'm looking forward to that. It's my first time going to NAMM, and I'm going up with a friend of mine. I'm going to drive up from Florida and check it out. So yeah, it should be cool. I'm looking forward to checking out Nashville. All right, so yeah, that audio sync thing happened last time. I'm not too sure what's going on with it, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not too sure what the deal is with it. Hopefully it sorts itself out, and yeah, hopefully it's not as bad as it was last time. I'm going to try and get this right this year as well. There's the way that you stream on YouTube isn't great right now still. Some people have it so it's lagless. I have a feeling it could be due to my internet connection. It could be a number of factors, but I've just upgraded some computer components as well. So I'm going to get this sorted out this year. There's no doubt about that. I want to do more live streams, and I want to have a few other people join the live streams as well. So hopefully that's cool. All right, Coffee Dog says his favorite electric guitar mic is the Royer Ribbon. Man, yeah, I wish I could get one of them. I hear good things about them. So we've got people from Brazil and Chicago, Blues Vibe and Diego Barreto. I can't roll my R's properly, but I tried. All right, cool, man. People from everywhere. So I just thought I'd share a funny situation. I had a friend of mine contact me last night. I was doing my jam night with my regular Sunday night blues jam thing, and she said, which I appreciate, like this venue's really after a band for a gig. They've someone's pulled out. It's last minute. If you want to do the gig, you got a couple of days to organize the band and get everybody in. So I thought, okay, well, send me the details. Let me know what they're paying, and because my bass player moved, so he's like 3 hours away from me now, where he used to be 40 minutes. So for him to drive to a gig, which he's more than happy to do, it's at least a 3-hour drive, maybe 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. So I said to my friend, ask them to send me some details about the gig. And so anyway, this was all on Facebook, and I ended up having the venue added me to, they joined in on the conversation, and I got this massive email, message saying, oh, look, we can't really pay you, but we're desperate for a band. Do you want to come in and do it? And all this kind of stuff. I'm like, man, this happens so much where I live, where these venues, I've had this happen at least 4 or 5 times in the last 12 months, where someone's desperate for a band, but they don't even want to cover petrol costs. They're just like, oh, we'll probably do a door deal, but you have to have X amount of people turn up, and then you get a certain percentage of the door deal. I'm thinking to myself, if you can't afford to pay for a good band, don't have live music, because no one wants to go to a venue that has a really bad band on. And I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think when venues stop paying bands, and they get all these people that want to play for free. Look, there's probably some good bands out there that just want to play and they don't care about getting paid. I don't really care about getting paid either. But the fact is, my bandmates appreciate if I can, I don't want to take advantage of them either. But the fact is that these venues don't pay bands to play who play there for free. And generally speaking, bit of a generalization, but the quality of the musicianship is generally pretty bad. And then a lot of people, I guess, lose interest in live music. And I don't know, it's like a cycle that might be killing the industry to some extent. So I guess I just wanted to see if, there are paid gigs still in the area that I live, but for the music that I'm into, I guess it's maybe not as easy to find those type of gigs. There's plenty of these, gigs you can do for nothing, but you invest all this money into your gear, you invest all this time into what you do, and you write songs and print CDs, and then you get asked last minute to do a gig that no one wants to pay you for. It's just like, well, why even have live music? Put a CD player on. I just thought I'd share that with everybody and see if anyone else has that problem, or wherever you live around the world, like if that's a common scenario these days. All right, so Blues Vibe says, we do a jam night at Buddy Guy's Legends in Chicago, but the blues scene isn't as big as you may think. I've been to Chicago, but I haven't been there since 2008 was the last time I was there. And I went to Buddy's, actually. It's a cool little venue, lots of cool stuff on the walls. And I heard the jam night's pretty cool. I would have loved to have been there on that night. Unfortunately, I was only in Chicago for a couple of days, and I was staying quite a ways out of the city and didn't get a chance to play, but I would have loved to have played there. But he says the blues scene isn't as big as you may think. And yeah, it sucks, like I think the blues scene's sort of dying everywhere, and I like that in-between music as well. I can't listen to just straight blues all night. I like that middle ground, and Buddy Guy's band's a great example of that middle ground. He doesn't play just straight blues all night, and the guy's got the vibe too. He's fantastic, but there's a lot of that other stuff that's blues rock or funk blues and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I really like that sort of stuff. But even that scene might not be, as prominent around the world these days. And I know it's not here. I know there's a handful of blues bands playing the same venues in the same, it's just 5 bands playing the same 5 venues on repeat. That's pretty much sums up where I live. All right. So Tapa says, guys, do you know where volume pedal enclosures are sold? If you're just looking for pedal enclosures, they're all over the web, man. You can go to eBay. I'm not sure where you're from, but if you go to, I get my stuff from pedalpartsaustralia.com or .au on the end. Can't remember. But if you just type in pedal parts or pedal enclosures, you can drill them yourself. I've got a whole bunch of those as well. INTHEBLUES.com.au, a little plug there. Selex101 says, hey, Shane, you're the only left-handed player that I know. Well, that's cool. It's good to be different. I know a few in Melbourne now. There's quite a few. There's a couple of really good lefties out there. I got to lift my game now, I think. All right, so Oz Lopez. Is that Oscar? Oscar Lapazek, maybe? Oh, no, it's not. It's he's from the Honduras. Sorry, I thought it was a friend of mine. He says, hi, Shane, do you receive endorsement or payment for the pedal companies you publish? I see you upload videos consistently. I don't and haven't received payment for any of my videos, and I intend on not doing that unless I'm doing videos for a company that's off my YouTube channel. So anything that I put on my YouTube channel, I don't receive any payments for, never have. I get asked that question all the time. And especially because I did demo a lot of those cheap pedals, like these ones, like the light purple and the Musy wee wee ones or whatever. I get these sent to me. I don't receive any payment for them. I just do videos. That's the plan. Demo as much stuff as I can and grow the channel. And yeah, you can ask any of the companies I've done stuff for, and none of them have given me any payments to make the videos that I make. So yeah. That's not something that I plan on doing unless, of course, I'm hired to do videos for a website, for example, or another YouTube channel that's out of my, regular stuff. So if I have to work to do other stuff, then I'll do that. But yeah, at the moment, no, I don't plan on taking payment. I know a lot of channels do, and a lot of other channels come up to me and say, oh, how much do you charge when you do your videos for these companies? I'm like, I don't charge anything. And I think that's why it's grown so much in the last in the last 2 years. I used to be like quite a ways behind a couple of the other big pedal guys in the world. Now I'm fourth because I think a lot of companies would prefer to work with someone who, doesn't charge them for, for making videos. They are time consuming, but this is how I work it out. Like I get this stuff in. This is something that I'm not going to keep after I do the demo, which is why I started my online shop, was to sell X demo pedals. So rather than taking payment, I take the proactive approach of, if I don't need it after I'm done doing the demo, I'll put it on my store and someone can buy it. I'll do it that way. But I don't charge them $100 a video like a lot of other guys do. So yeah, that's why I think, there's a lot of biased channels out there on YouTube. They do get payments, and you'll see some other companies revisit reviews that they've done that weren't favorable to begin with, that became favorable. And I think that's part of the problem with YouTube. I think once someone starts getting paid to do videos, to just give favorable opinions on stuff, then that's a huge problem. So yeah, I don't plan on ever doing any of that. So thanks for the question. So Mercury Banana, that's an interesting name, asks, do you buy all the pedals you review? Yes and no. I buy samples of stuff. So I'll buy an entire series of, like those Oral Dream ones that I reviewed. They're on the floor over there. I bought the whole lot of those. I buy, stuff for the shop independently as well. Some of that I've had a chance to test, or a friend might have it, and I'll go, this is great, and I'll buy a few. But on the most part, like, I'm not going to pay a company that wants, huge exposure. I'm not going to go buy a series of things if they're offered to me as well. So, I'd say, 70% of the stuff that I would get to do videos for sent to me with the intention of I can just do whatever I want with them after I do the videos. So that's the way I prefer to work. I get offers to buy stuff just to make videos, and I'm like, no thanks, not if I don't need it. The stuff that I need for my own live playing, I'll buy. And I have, like, everything on my board, I think, is pretty much stuff that I've bought, maybe with the exception of like the Max On pedals. But yeah, so that's that. All right, let me go through some of the questions here. We got Ahmad Kareem from Houston is in the house. Welcome. Crush Proof as well. He says, have you tried any of the exotic drive pedals? Yeah, I've owned a few of them as well. They're really good. The yellow one, the AC booster, I think it is basically like a tube screamer with a bass and treble control. The RC boost is pretty cool. I know guys that swear by them. I haven't tried a lot of the new exotic effect pedals, so I know they've got a couple of dual channel ones and stuff, but there's some good news on the channel too. I got a guy I'm going to be working with from Sydney who has nothing but retro pedals. So he's going to he owns a little online store, and he's got 100 retro pedals, so stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s and onwards. So he's sending me a box of them on Monday, so I'm just going to start pumping out some different type of videos as well. These will all be like old compressors, overdrives, distortions, you name it. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff in there, so that should be fun as well. It's just there's no videos on this stuff either, so for those interested in like older gear and all that kind of stuff, yeah, there should be some more stuff on the way. So we've got Salvador from Saudi Arabia. Man, we've got people from everywhere here. Poi, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, Poi, but he's from Seattle. It's 3 letters, and they're the ones that always get me. That's most confusing for me. How's the audio, by the way? Is it any better than it was, or is it still out of sync? All right. I've also got another sponsor for the channel too, as I mentioned on one of the podcasts. I don't know if everyone listens to the podcast or not, but yeah, there is a sponsor on the way, and this is a non-invasive sponsor. I'm not promoting a product. I'm literally just going to be doing what I normally do, but I get to choose what I want to review. So that mixed with all the Facebook suggestions that I got for pedals, I've put a list of 30 pedals together. And yeah, I'm going to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff that's out currently, and some old stuff as well that they're going to supply for the channel, and I give them a shout out. So it's going to be cool. I've got probably a lot more videos coming up in the next few months, and yes, it's going to be different stuff. I'm going to focus more on the sort of like the mid-range gear, so not so much of the cheap stuff. I've done heaps of that lately, and it's not really my focus coming up. So I want to do some more of the, the Wampler pedals, even the Digitech Trio, stuff like that as well. You name it. I want to do some more Max On pedals and some of those overdrives with actual 12AX7s in them as well. That should be really fun. All right, so let me get back here. All right, so we've got Wayne from New York. Welcome, Wayne. Wayne Whiteside, that's a cool name, man. I'm just gonna have a drink. So for those joining the chat, I guess it's turned into more of a Q&A thing, which is fine. I'm happy to do that anytime. I always like answering questions, but thing I've for those who have just joined, the biggest question that's come up in the last 24 hours, at least I've seen it posted on a lot of videos, is do I get paid for these videos that I make? And I don't, not, from the companies. I use the Google AdSense thing. So if you got ad blocker, turn it off when you watch the videos, please. Click on an ad or something, No, don't do that. No, it's all good. All right, so let's go back up. I'll check out some questions again. Sorry, I keep like missing the the chat box here. We've got Jason Wyman from Daytona, Florida. I know that town extremely well. All right, let me. All right, so Jason Wyman asks, hey Shane, do the Mustang 3 patches work on the Mustang 2? Yes, they do. So any of the version 2 amplifiers that are out, like the Mustang 1, 2, 3, 4 version and 5 V2s, those patches will work. I know some of the smaller amps don't have the EQ controls and stuff as the big ones do, but it's all done digitally on the inside. So if you hook up the amp to the Fender Fuse, you'll see all the same controls. So they'll all work. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I'll just give it a shot too. If you've got an older version, like a Mustang 2 version 1, some of the amp models won't work, and it'll replace them with the closest thing to that. But yeah, there are some differences between the version 1 and version 2s, but any of the same series, as mentioned, all of those will work. So Archie says he's from Cookeville, Tennessee. This is much more interesting than the Super Bowl. Yeah, I forgot that was on. Is that today? We in Australia, we actually get that live on, I think it's our cable TV system. I don't know if it's live to air here, and free to air TV. I haven't watched TV for so long. I watched the new X-Files. That was about it. I really like that TV show. It's a bit of a blast from the past for me. I love it. All right. So Wayne says, "Hey, I finally caught you live." Hey, that's cool, man. Thanks for stopping in. Man, we got quite a few people in here now. This is cool. I just thought, why not? I'll start a live stream. I just uploaded a video of this delay pedal, and I didn't proof the video afterwards because it was late, and I uploaded it and realized it didn't have my playing track on there. So all it had was the backing track and me basically noodling around, and you couldn't hear anything. And I just checked my computer, and being the sort of moron that I am sometimes, I actually deleted the file, so I'll have to redo that, which sucks. But I'll do that again, and I might do that tomorrow. Monday is my lazy day, so. Well, Monday here anyway. I know it's still Sunday other parts of the world. Crushproof says, have you listened to Oznoy or Matt Schofield? Their tone and technique are awesome. I've listened to a lot of Matt Schofield. He's great. The guy that's in my band, Brian, plays a lot like Matt Schofield. And yeah, I've heard a lot of his stuff. Excuse me one second. Of his stuff over the last few years. He's a great player. Oznoy doesn't sound familiar. I've heard the name. I'm not sure if I've just seen some YouTube clips or not, but I'll double check that out anyway. Daz, welcome, man. He says, hope you're well. Hope you're well as well. He says, the audio is still out of sync. I don't get any YouTube notifications of the stream. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I think what happens is when you check your, when you go to YouTube and you see all the videos that come up, you've got to click on subscribers, and then it should come up with a thumbnail. I'm not sure what sort of notification you're talking about. If you mean like an email one, I know some people you can set up so you can be emailed anytime that a new video comes up or a live stream goes up. If that's what you mean, then I think, yeah, I'm not sure if what the deal is with that. I'm using this Google Hangout thing again. I tried another streaming software thing again today, and it didn't work. So anyway, I'm gonna get this working. I'm a tech guy, by the way. I used to do a lot of nerdy stuff, and if I can't get this to work, I feel sorry for those who aren't as technically proficient. Anyway, I'm going to get this working this year. All right, so let's go back. I saw a question about guitars. Diego Barreto says, do you know any Brazilian guitarists? The guys that you've mentioned, I don't know. I used to listen to one guy that was from there. and his name escapes me right now. He's got a pretty successful YouTube channel as well, but I can't recall his name at the moment. Sorry, man. So I think the question was, oh yeah, Ahmad Kareem says, any new guitars for 2016? At the moment, no. I plan on selling a few of them. I want to sell at least 2. And I want to get one that I absolutely can't live without. I think, those type of guitars are the ones that you want to use the most. And if I'm like, my Strat sounds great, but I'm so over it. I really don't. I've tried to like it. I've tried to love it for a long time, but I'm thinking I might either find another one that I really love with a bigger neck. That's the main thing. The neck's really small on the one I've got. It's more of a modern necks. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to Jerry's Lefty Guitars again in June, and he's always got some great stuff. So I might end up getting one of those Duesenberg guitars. I've still been thinking about that 2 years later. So Jerry said he'll give me a deal on it if I'm interested. That, or I might buy another Telecaster with a P90 or a humbucker or something in it. He's got a lot of that sort of stuff. He's got those Tom Anderson guitars, which are really, really nice. If you haven't heard of Tom Anderson guitars, go check them out. I think they're made in California. They're basically like a Fender, but beautiful. Oh, I can't say but beautiful, but they're really beautiful. That's what I'm trying to say. They're really great. So Wayne's says, what microphone am I using now? I need a better mic. 100. All right. So basically the mic I'm using now is this. It's a Blue Yeti podcasting microphone. It's really quite good. I wouldn't recommend using this for recording electric guitar. It's not designed for that, and it can spike really easily as well. It's USB powered, so it's just plugged straight into the computer. You can move it around and stuff. And yeah, these are called Yeti mics. If you're going to be doing like proper recording, probably better doing or getting like a proper instrument microphone or something like that, or a proper condenser mic. But for doing streams and podcasts, all that kind of stuff, these are pretty cool. These are kind of like the bog standard one you'll see a lot of guys use because they just sound really good. All right, so let me go back to the questions or the chat here. All right, so here's a funny question. Oh, where'd it go? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but his last name's Martel. He says, can you play right-handed guitars? I can, to a degree. So basically, if I'm playing a right-handed guitar, I'll still play it left-handed. I can play shuffle blues rhythm parts, very limited electric guitar. I can play Sissy Strut upside down. I can play I Could Have Lied by the Chili Peppers upside down, and just basic stuff, but nothing worth listening to. Occasionally I'll do that at a jam night. I'll grab someone's right-handed guitar, play it upside down. They're like, what? But yeah, it's not something that I'd wish upon anybody to hear. So oh, here we go. This is cool. Oh, where did the comment go? Oh, yeah, here we go. Wayne says, I've been using Joe Barton pickups since 1988. They're great. I had no idea they were that old. That's phenomenal. Yeah, I got mine in my Telly, and I don't plan on taking them out. So Daz asks, how much will you sell the Strat for? Will I leave the Zex coils in there? So the guitar that I've got is worth a fortune, and I really thought it would sell for 2,200 Australian dollars. I've seen them, the right-handed ones, in a shop in Cranbourne for $5,000. So I figured, even though it's used, I still figured it was worth that much. I've got it on eBay Australia for 1,800 starting price, which is lower than I wanted to sell it for. And yes, I'm just going to leave it as is. Those stock pickups that came with it were the Fender SCN pickups, which sound like they're not good. They're not good. So yeah, I'm definitely selling the Strat as is. Look, if I get another Strat down the line, I can get another set of Zex coil pickups, but I want to find a Strat that meets my neck requirements. It was one of the first guitars that I bought. The only reason I'm selling it is because I'm way more comfortable playing like a one of those sort of old school 50s sort of big C-shaped necks. Even this little Crow guitar that I've got here has a much like wider neck. That's hard to see, but it's wider this way, which is what I want because I got really big hands. So yeah, that's pretty much the only reason I'm selling it. I don't want to go through the hassle of finding another neck and all that. I'm not really interested. All right. Do you use a compressor pedal? I think it takes away the dynamics. It does take away the dynamics. If you use it like in a subtle way, you can put it after an overdrive and get some really cool sounds. Excuse me. I got my drinks here. Pardon me. Yeah, if you use it after an overdrive, I prefer it that way. But yeah, that's I know what you mean. I kind of think for blues, a compressor pedal doesn't really add a whole lot if you over compress your signal, because the dynamics is what gives blues the feel. Having all the quiet sections come up and then having all the loud sections come down isn't dynamic at all. So yeah, it's just one of those things. All right, let's go back up here. Hopefully someone wants this Strat Daz. It's great. I mean, with the pickups in there, it's worth a fortune. So maybe I'll put a set of what are those Jimmy Vaughn ones, the Texas ones or whatever. I might put a set of them in and take the Zex coils out. They did sponsor me with those. I feel kind of guilty selling them, so maybe I'll pull out the pick guard or something, put a different set of pickups in or whatever. All right. Let me go up here and have a look. All right, Lewis77 says, I'm about to buy a Telly just because of you. That's cool, man. I realize I have a bigger impact on people than I realize when it comes to the gas thing, and it's always surprising because I don't, I'm not a fancy guitar player. There's a lot of great players out there. I just love the whole music thing. I love it. I'm more of I guess these days I'm more of a songwriter than a flash guitar player, and I'm kind of enjoying that process at the moment. But it's good when I see stuff like that. It kind of, I know the feeling. I'll hear someone play something, and that's motivation for me to go out and get one as well. Yeah. Let me know what type of Telly you're thinking of buying as well, if you're still in the chat here. So Damon mentioned before the retro pedal idea sounds great. Yeah, so for those who are just joining, I won't try to reiterate too much of what's going on here, but yeah, I'm getting a whole bunch of retro pedals sent down, all old school ones to demo, which should be fun. Crush Proof says, I can't believe you're getting pulled to the Telly side. Man, the Telecasters is where it's at, man. Like, seriously, every time I hear a Strat now, it never sounds forward in the mix. It always sounds to me like it's just a great rhythm instrument, the Strat. And there's very few Strats that I hear that really pop out of the mix when people are soloing. They just don't have that or outward sort of sound like a Telecaster does. Tellys just sound more round and full and steely, and it's hard to go back to a Strat once you hear that. Find the right Telly, man. You'll never go back. All right, so I'm gonna call you Abby Mail. Maybe is that how you say it? I'm totally. Oh, Abby. All right. Arby. There we go. So Arby says, how do I deal with single coil hum? I don't use single coils unless I can help it. That's how I deal with it. If I'm playing my Les Paul with P90 pickups, I tend not to use the gain up as loud, or up as high, I should say. The more gain you add, the more buzz you're going to get. Or I choose that guitar for rooms that I know don't have problems with, the electricity or their circuits and stuff. So most of my guitars, even this little Crow, this is part of the reason I wanted the mini humbucker in this guitar, was because, I hate buzz. And if it means I've got, 2 pickup options here to cancel out the buzz, then that's better than none. I've gone through the whole no buzz-free pickup thing, and it's painful. So in my Telecaster, I've got noiseless pickups. They're the Joe Bardens, as I mentioned before. My Strat has the Zex coils, which sound unreal. I really like those pickups. I just don't miss the buzz. Like my Les Pauls and all the rest of the guitars have humbuckers in them, and what can I say? Just, no stress about the buzz. So Black Buffin says, your videos are good. I appreciate that, man. Thanks. It's still fun doing it. I'm still enjoying myself. I've been trying to sort of brainstorm some other ideas for the channel for this year as well, and I'm kind of close to trying something new. It'll be still gear related, but there won't be any playing. It's like a different video altogether. I like getting creative with stuff, so I might try one, and if it gets, some positive feedback, I'll do more. If it doesn't, then I won't do it again. All right, so Harley Davidson bought an AVRI 52 rear shoot Telecaster with the U-neck, and he loves it. Cool. What's the AVRI stand for? Is that the brand name, or I'm not too sure what that is. I haven't heard of that before. We've got Kerry from Toronto, Canada. Welcome. Now, I'm on a Google Hangout here. So if other people have that, can I add people to if anyone's used this thing before, let me know if I can add people, because let's see what I can do here. I'm going to click on some stuff and see what happens. See if we can. All right. No, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get people on to have a chat with me as well. If you've got like a webcam and whatever else, we can probably have a chat. Let's try and work that out for next time. We can do a proper hangout. People can ask me stuff in like real time, and I can hear you talk and all that. So, all right. As a fellow Telly guy, have you ever tried the Baja 60s Telly major gas here? I haven't tried one because they don't make left-handed ones, but I've seen the right-handed ones, and they're really, really good. They're made in Mexico. I think, from what I remember, they look a lot like my 52 Telly, except they're sort of like a matte finish maybe, or a drier sort of neck finish and stuff. They're great. I can't recommend them enough from what I've seen of them. A friend of a friend has one. I haven't seen it for a long time, but yeah, they're great guitars. So Kerry asks, how about asking Will Galvin to build you something to your spec? That's a good point. And funny you mentioned that, actually. He just did a video recently showing how his Strat style guitar with the that sort of paisley style shirt thing that he incorporated on top of it and then varnished over it. How I actually left a comment saying I might ask you to build something for me this year. And for those wondering, I'm not like best mates with this guy. I literally thought interviewing him might be interesting for a lot of people. He's a nice guy. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not friends with him now, because dealing with him, person to person, he was a nice guy. Like, I felt like the conversation went well and all that kind of stuff. And I know he can offend people easily due to his language or whatever, but I don't know. I dealing with him for the first time when we did that podcast was, he seemed like a normal dude. So that's just my 2 cents on that. And yeah, so long story short there, sorry, Kerry, yeah, basically I might do that if there's something that I'm looking for. But I think the next guitar that I definitely want to do or get, sorry, I'm reading at the same time here, so I get easily distracted, would be the Duesenberg. That's one guitar. It's got a P90 in the neck, humbucker in the bridge, a tremolo arm that works, and it looks completely rock and roll. I love it. All right, here's a question that I'll cover here. So Brandon asks, have you released an album recently, or are you still finishing it up? I thought you'd been doing some recording. So yes, maybe like a month and a half ago, I just finished an album called The Change I Need. It's actually getting some airplay in Australia, which is pretty cool, on the Blues and Roots radio stations, which is cool. So yeah, The Change I Need is, you can get it on intheblues.com.au if you click on the music shop. I only had 100 copies pressed and I'm halfway through. So yeah, I don't know if I'll get more done once they're all gone. So I played it safe this time. I used to get 500 copies of everything, but then you end up with boxfuls and boxfuls and boxfuls of stuff, and you kind of end up getting desperate to get rid of them. So yeah, I got 100 copies done, and I'm also recording right now too. So the latest stuff I'm working on is a little bit different to, well, it's a lot different to the stuff I've done on the last album, and just in general, it's got inspiration from, as I mentioned earlier at the start of the podcast, JJ Cale, Mark Knopfler, Van Morrison. Just going for that Tulsa sound. I've got some pedal steel parts done from a guy called Paul Hilton in Michigan. He's an absolute gun player. And yeah, so it's a mix of, it's the Tulsa sound. For those who don't know, it's not blues, it's not country, it's not rock and roll, it's not jazz. That's how you explain it. But it's every part of those genres, and it ends up having its very own sound. So yeah, if you don't know what the Tulsa sound is, go Google JJ Cale live in 1979. There's a studio session on YouTube that I've been listening to flat out, and that was part of the sound. So we've got Hammond organ on there and everything. It should be fun. All right, so Jay says hello. I think that's a flying V in his avatar there. So hi, Jay. And Tiago says hi from Brazil. Welcome. Man, we got a few people from Brazil here. That's cool, man. All right, so Jay says, I just got a way huge overrated special pedal. Overrated special pedal, hey? I don't know if I know that particular one, but look, Way Huge makes some pretty cool stuff. Let me check out which one this is. I'll just have a quick look. Sorry if I go quiet for a sec. Okay, so the overrated special is a pedal I haven't actually seen until right now. I've demoed most of their stuff over the last few years. They make some really good pedals, and they also make some pedals that are a little bit too complicated. They have more controls than they need, maybe. But yeah, they look cool. Like, they make great delay pedals. There's a really cool fuzz pedal. It's got that sort of 60s fuzz thing. And yeah, they've got one called the Angry Troll, which is a great pedal. That's one that I've kind of been thinking about buying for a while. It's basically like a volume boost with a hair of attitude. And it's got these like fists of fury things that they say, where you can turn it up and it adds a bit more volume, adds a bit more oomph. So yeah, they make some cool stuff. Rockstar says, put on the Super Bowl. Yeah, well, maybe later. Is it on right at this minute, hey? Maybe I'll put it on. Hang on. Let's see if I can Google it. Super Bowl live stream. See what happens. It's probably going to glitch my my video, so maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, the Green Rhino. I think that's the pedal I was thinking of. Yeah, cool. All right, can you check this out? There's a Telly that Dylan pickups. I guess it's called an Akita, a Lumacaster. All right, I'll check that out as well, man. No worries. Let's see if I've got some images here. Probably doesn't make for a great viewing, guys. Sorry, when I'm Googling stuff, but that Illumicaster looks pretty cool. It looks different. I'll have a good look at that. I've got it. Found a YouTube link here. I'll post it into the chat. People can check it out if they want to check it out while they're joining, and I'll look at it later. Is this going to work? No. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you got to click on links in Google before you can paste them. There we go. All right, so I like a lot of pickups. Hot gold lace. Yeah, those lace. Are they? You talking about lace sensor pickups? All right. Ahmad says the Hot Tone Ravo multi-effects pedal seems pretty cool. Have you checked that out? No, I haven't. I've only done videos on a few of their pedals. They sent me some samples to do some videos for, and they make some pretty cool stuff. But I don't know. I haven't checked out their multi-effects. That'd be one to probably check out. All right, so Crush Proof asks, what do I think of the Voodoo Lab Micro Vibe? It's funny you mentioned that, actually. I was talking to Rick about that the other day and the sound of it and stuff. If you're in a Hendrix band or a Stevie Ray band, it's probably a necessity to have one of those on your board. If you're not, then I don't know. You got to really want to have that sound. So that's the way I would look at that. All right, Mr. Kareem says, have you started busking yet in Vic? So for those who don't listen to the podcast, believe it or not, Dr. Rick, a doctor, talked me into getting my busking license. And we went in with the other day, we had to sit this 1 hour session telling us about safety and where we can do it and where we can't do it and that. And for those who have never been to Melbourne, Australia, it's like the music capital of Australia in many ways. Well, that's what it's renowned for anyway. And basically, there's a lot of really great busking players around. There's also some that aren't great, but generally, if you walk into the city here in the downtown area, it's insane. You'll see some really fantastic players and singers, all that kind of stuff. And Rick said, "Oh, I just want to play. No one comes to our gigs, so it's like, oh, let's go busking and have a play." So we did. We set our course, went through the course and got our permit and all that kind of stuff. And we went and played once so far. It's funny because it felt a bit weird playing blues the way we play blues with, he's got his custom shop Telecaster and I'm playing my Les Paul, and, we didn't look like we're, I guess, in desperate need of busking, but people were enjoying it. People had to listen and watched, and there were a couple of people set up doing some day trading stuff outside, and not day trading, but what it's like storefront trading outside of their shop or whatever, and they were all tapping their feet and stuff. So we had a good time. I might try and videotape a little bit of that on my phone or something next time. We'll see how we go, but I don't know if there'll be a next time. Rick spent like $700 on this busking amp, and I think he was under the false expectations we'd pay it off in a day, but I think we made about $2. But we were only there for a little while. I got to say, we only maybe played for 35 minutes because he had to go back to work. But we'll do it again. You know what? I actually enjoyed myself. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny. It was good just having people to play to as I was walking past, and that was, it was good fun. So thanks for that question. And we're definitely going to be doing it again. I had to pay for this permit. We had to go sit this course or day sort of, whatever you want to call it, that, you sit down and someone talks to you, shows you maps and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to at least do it one more time, at least, to make it worth it. All right. All right, so here's a good point. Damon says, I have to admit I like junky stock pickups. The classic vibe stock pickups, EMG, sound really cool to me. Look, there's nothing wrong with the stock classic vibe pickups. I'd put them up with a lot of the better full-blown Fender pickups. I think they're they're not junk. You know, the guitar might be cheap, but those particular pickups leave the regular Squire pickups for dead. So that's, you know, I agree. They're great. Some of the best tones I had with one guitar in particular with the stock pickups in my Mexican Strat. I shouldn't have messed around with it. It sounded perfect. All right, so what have we got here? All right, so Crushproof says, I also had a Plimsoll. I couldn't make it sound good. I'm not into the Tube Screamer type pedals. Look, if you have the gain down, I don't know. Like I said earlier, those Plimsolls have a modern type of sound, and it might not be for everybody, but you know, for the rig that I had, I thought it sounded pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with these pedals, you know, like what I like or what you like is different sometimes, and that's fine. That's just the way the whole industry is. So I guess for me, I know what sound I want in my head before I play. Like if I'm using someone else's amp and I see their pedals on the ground, and it's even if I'm playing in a Mesa Boogie or something like that, that's completely different. Odds are normally I can get an approximation of the sound that I like. And that goes with almost any of the pedals I use. Like I took out the new Tribus version 1.5 last night and played at my jam night. And, you know, after the first song, I had it dialed. It was just like, that's the sound that I like. So, you know, for me now to go buy more pedals for my personal collection, unless it's like a modulation or delay or something like that, or a tuner pedal, I don't really need to, because I found out now I can pretty much get most of the sounds I like through the majority of the pedals that I test. Even some of these cheap ones, you know, like some of the cheaper overdrive pedals, I can dial them into a point where I'd at least be happy with them on the most part. They might not sound as good as some of the like the Maxon pedals or whatever, or, you know, the Klon and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, I think, you know, if you've got the sound in your head, you can usually dial it in either by tweaking your amp or tweaking the pedal. I'm just going to take a quick sip of this. All right, so Kerry says, how are the open mics in your area? Look, they're mixed like everywhere, I guess. There's some really good quality jams. I arguably run the best jam night in Melbourne for live, like electric music, like blues and rock and roll, all that kind of stuff. The standard's fantastic. We get a lot of great singers, great drummers. You know, it's just a great vibe, and we can turn up and have a bit of fun. There's also some that are really, really bad for whatever reason. Either they're poorly run, the PA system doesn't work properly, you know, they're a little too eclectic. You might get someone, you know, spoken word stuff for 20 minutes, man. No one, you know, if you're there to play music, you don't want to hear that. But generally where I live in Melbourne, the scene's quite big, and it has been for a while. And if you type in open mic night documentary or jam night documentary into YouTube, it'll come up with my doco that I made like the year before last, I think. So yeah, I put a little 40-minute documentary together, or however long it is, about one of the jam nights that is in the area, and it's a bit of a interesting sort of place would be the term I'll use for it. You can get some really great people there. You can get some sort of crazy people there as well. So I thought it'd be a good, you know, place to do a little video. So yeah, check it out. It's a place called the Green Table in Dandenong. But yeah, type in open mic night documentary, it should come up. All right, let me go up here. So Ray, the tech guy, just says he picked up a Hot Rod Deluxe this week, loving it. Can't wait for the butterscotch Telly to arrive. So Ray has a serious case of gas, and I salute that. So well done. Yeah, the great thing about those amps, the Hot Rod Deluxe amps, the clean channel is just great. And if you do choose to change the speaker for whatever reason, you can dramatically change the sound. So if you find out that the stock speaker might not have a particular type of sound that you're looking for, you can they're the best amps for modding. That and the Blues Deluxe. Put a different speaker in, bang, you get a whole different tone. I'd put my Blues Deluxe clean channel against any boutique amp, and now that I've changed the speaker out on it, and it would keep up with them, no problems at all. So yeah, even stock, like I said, even stock, those amps are fantastic. And yeah, for those wondering what I think of the drive channels, I think they're a good drive channel if you can crank up the master, but you have to have the master up. They sound a little fizzy and thin with the master down. But yeah, if you're using pedals, chuck a pedal in front of that clean channel and you're done, like all Fender amps. That's what's great about them. All right, so Jay says, I experienced with 50s damaged Fender amps. Those amps produce nice, unstable, unique, and attractive sounds to me. So yeah, if you can find a 50s amp and it works, or / you know how to maintain it and it's going to be reliable and all that kind of stuff, then go ahead and you know, you can buy that stuff. But a lot of people, I got a friend of mine who's in the new Gas documentary that I'm dying to finish now. It's bugging me that I haven't finished it. But basically, his collection of stuff is unbelievable. What I might do is post a picture or I might put a teaser trailer together of the new documentary, because his collection is all Tweed stuff from back in the day, all the blackface stuff from back in the day to all the new stuff. And he basically says that the new stuff is so much more consistent than the old stuff. But if you find the right old stuff, it can sound phenomenal. So basically he's saying, say there's a plus minus of parts in new gear of 2%, for example. I'm just pulling that number out of thin air because I think that's what he said. Maybe less, maybe 1 or 2% either way. So between 10 amps that are brand new, all put together, there might be a 2% difference in sound. He says there could be a plus minus of 15 to 17% with some of these old ones. So you really have to make sure you know what you're listening to and for when you go buy like old amps. When I was in San Francisco, I got to play through this Albert Giles, who's a local blues guy there. He's got a 50s Fender amp. He had it modded and got it cranked up to 100 watts, and the thing sounded amazing. So yeah, you do find some of these old amps that are just really great. Oh, David's just joined us. Yeah, so anyone who's wondering who David is, he's freaking Prawn from the podcast, I was about to say, from the podcast. As I said, Monday's my lazy day. I have a really late night, Sunday night, doing my jam, and I didn't really feel like shooting any videos today. I'm always a little bit sort of, I wake up late, and this is my Sunday basically. So yeah, I'm a little bit tired right now. But so if I'm not pronouncing words as clearly as normal, that's about why. All right, so all right. There was something else I was going to bring up on the podcast as well, but I just right now I just can't remember what it is. I had 2 things I wanted to talk about. One I already talked about before, being that the last minute unpaid gig deals from venues, but yeah, I can't remember what the other one is right now. But what I might do too coming up, if I can get Rick over here at some point, I'll do a live stream podcast with him. So I'll get another camera and we'll set it up so we can both be on the stream at the same time, or even just use the one camera. I'll work it out anyway. I'll get this audio sync issue fixed. That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get off this chat. So yeah, that might be fun. And I was supposed to interview Greg yesterday, the day before, whatever day it was now. And he couldn't make it, unfortunately. This is Greg Koch, the killer guitar player guy from the US. I met him once before. He's a really lovely guy. So hopefully we'll do that this week. I've got a lot of questions put together from people that are, like his playing and videos and all that kind of stuff, as well as stuff that I've come up with and a few of my friends have come up with as well. So that podcast, I'm hoping will go up starting next week. And yeah, I'm going to do another one coming up with Mr. Prawn as well. So it should be good. And I'm going to give a shout out to those who don't know about my forum. If you go over to intheblues.net, just intheblues.net, it's the user forum over there. Basically, it's grown heaps lately, and I appreciate everyone who's over there, posting stuff. It's always fun to see how many really cool guitar people there are in the world that join up. So yeah, feel free to join up if you choose to. All right, let's. I'll just go through some of the chat here. I've missed a little bit of it as well. So Wayne says it's great to have a live conversation in Google Hangouts. So I don't know. I don't know who or how or if I should say if anyone's actually used the live sort of cam chat via Google Hangouts before, but I can invite people here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to post a link on my In the Blues Google Plus page. It's the only place that it works, even though no one uses Google Plus. And it's chat live, and I'm posting a little thing right now. So if you can make your way over to Google Plus or my Google Plus account, let's see if we can get someone on. That'd be fun. So if you've got a webcam and a microphone, and you can keep it clean, as in the language and so forth, then you're more than welcome to jump on. So I don't know if that'll work or not, but I'm more than happy to give it a shot. So yeah, I wonder if I can also just type in a name. All right, let's try this. I don't know if this will work, but if anyone wants to jump on this live stream right now, post a message in the chat box or the chat section, and I'll see if I can invite you via the direct invite thing here. So let's see how we go. And putting the pressure on now. Someone else will have to be on the cam. No, maybe not. Yeah, Daz, let's do it, man. Jump on. You got a webcam? All right, Kerry, let me see if I can get this to work. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to fiddle around here for a sec. All right. Maybe you have to actually be connected to the person here. I'm going to go to my Google Plus page for a sec. And sorry, guys, let me just try this. I want to know if this works. This would be really cool. All right, almost there. All right, I know this is probably really boring right now, but hang on, just bear with me. I'll be like 1 more minute tops. All right, so hang on, let's try this. I'll post this in. So here's my Google Plus posts page. If you click on that, there's a little Google Plus little talking box thing. It says Google Hangouts. It should be, I wrote chat live on there. So if you click on that, let's see if someone can join. This should be cool. And by the way, I think I'm going to have to get some headphones. Otherwise, there's going to be some feedback going on, which I have right here somewhere. They're right around the back of this. One sec. They're out here. All right. Let's try this. Hopefully this works. All right, let's all right, we got Wayne here. Cool. All right, Wayne, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right, hang on. I've done something wrong with my audio side here. Maybe it's coming through my other output. Hang on, mate.
Oh, all right. Hang on. Let me mute let me mute your other stream.
Okay.
Okay, now I have to, oh.
Hey, Wayne,
okay.
How are you?
Okay, now I'm on again. Okay, how you doing? I'm in Sydney, New York.
Yeah, wow. Cool. Not to be confused with the Sydney not far from me.
Yeah, well, every time I get someone new on the phone, I don't know, some sort of company, I say, well, you're all the way in Sydney. I said, no, I'm in New York. You know?
Yeah. Whereabouts is that in relation to
well, I'm from New York City. I left New York City in my 30s, in the late 80s, moved upstate New York. It's a very rural area. You know, I'm near like Binghamton, New York, Albany. Oh, this is great. This is why I want to start the Google Hangouts too, because other people can join in like this.
Yeah, that's great. Now that I'm pretty new to using this. I've only done like 2 other live streams, I think, and 1 test. And the software that I was trying to use that was supposed to make life easier didn't make life easier, and I ended up this would be a really great tool to know how to use properly. So I appreciate you jumping in and being the first of the the friends.
I couldn't wait because I did 2. There's a couple of people that do audio podcasts. I do a few of them here and there too.
Yeah. They
had me start the Google Hangout, and I did like 2 very short ones, but like no one even saw them. You know?
Yeah.
So no one joined in or anything, you know.
I'll tell you what. Next time we might have to get like a group discussion happening one time on here too. I think that'd be fun. We can have people jump in and contribute. I think that's always more fun than me just having a talk. I always end up with a really dry throat by the end of it.
Because I've seen them before where there was many people, contributing to it, but I never was able to join. I couldn't find you Google Plus the first time, but then when you posted the link and then you gave directions to click on the Hangouts, and here I am. Look at that.
Yeah, cool. All right, we've actually got a couple of people on here, so I'm going to go over to stay on the chat here, Wayne. We'll I'll go over to Kerry. Kerry from Canada is here too, so let's give across. How are you, Kerry?
Very good.
Thanks for joining in.
I've seen you log into the Hangouts with Will and Duncan, those guys.
Oh, I've never actually been on their stream. They invited me once, but that video you're talking about was a podcast I did with Will, but we did that mostly just via audio.
I've seen that.
Yeah, we did it via Skype. Yeah, cool.
Well, all you Australians, they sound the same, right?
Yeah, that's it. It could have been another Aussie guy with
another Shane.
Well, I don't know. That's odd. I posted some podcasts videos with Will, which went over. That had a mixed reaction, but I don't know what you thought of the podcasts and stuff, but yeah, he seems like a nice enough guy to me. I don't have any gripes with him. I know some people.
I think basically he's a nice guy. He looks forward in what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And but other than that, he just doesn't want to take any bullshit.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I ended up some of the most recent videos I posted of the podcast with him. I ended up blocking comments because people were just they argue back and forth, and it went off topic where people are threatening people, and it's like this is nothing to do with the content of the videos. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. I just thought it'd be a bit of fun to have a chat with him because I know he's been through a lot of the negative side of YouTube, whereas I haven't really dealt with any of that. luckily. I get the odd person that hates everything that I do, but you know, guitar players, a lot of guitar players know better than a lot of other guitar players. That's how that works.
You know what? Some people just have no life, and they just need some kind of attention. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I do some podcasts, and I participate in other podcasts on just an audio network, and they always have open chat rooms in there, and you join the show usually because everyone uses Skype, and the people in the chat, they're if they could be violent, they would be. People get blocked and banned all the time because they just argue, and it's interesting, but their topic is not like what this is. Everyone's a musician, most people here are musicians, and we're all interested in the same thing.
Or appreciate music.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's going to get angry because you don't use a humbucker,
I really don't play myself. I have a bunch of guitars, and I try to practice, but the dedication or practice is not there. What I've been doing a lot lately, probably over the last year, is recording open mics. There was one we were recording, or that I recorded at a vegan restaurant, and that was closed down eventually. It's just it just wasn't busy enough. So
where are you?
Had a lot.
Where
just
are you?
On the outskirts of Toronto.
Oh, okay.
I'm in a suburb of Toronto, actually.
Cool.
So, yeah.
How long,
so there's
how long have you been playing? I'm sorry.
Sorry, there's a bar here. Personally, I don't go to bars. I don't drink. So I'm still waiting for the cannabis to be legalized here. It's not that I'm a big user, but
You'll have to move to San Francisco.
I find that a little bit more non-violent than alcohol.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't go to. I don't
have
go
a friend
to bars.
in Nova Scotia is waiting for it to be legal.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of people down there waiting for that to be legal.
Yeah.
That's actually originally where I'm from. But there's a lot of bars that have open mics, and I've recorded a few of those bars, and they're just busy, and people just walking in front of your camera and stuff like that. But there's one we did a David Bowie, or not we, but there was a David Bowie tribute they did just a while ago.
Cool.
And actually, I'm really surprised at how good my microphone is on my camera, because they are just blasting it out, and I'm probably about 10 feet from the speaker.
Yeah, a lot of those new cameras have that. They sort of auto-level they limit the volume. So yeah. I know with my old Sony cameras, they're great. You could literally almost put them in front of a guitar amplifier and full blast, and it would still compensate the gain. It'd bring the gain down. They're really cool.
Yeah, I discovered that last summer. I was probably about 5 feet away from a speaker, and I thought for sure this thing was just going to be clipping away, but no, it came up great.
Yeah, some of the older analog style microphones, they're the ones you'll have the full-blown distortion with, but they sound better if it's not clipping. But those digital mics these days are awesome on cameras. You can't beat them.
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing? How many years?
Who's that directed to? Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'd always been around music when I was a kid. I learnt the recorder when I was in primary school. I learnt that from grade 2 to grade 6, I think it was, and then I learnt to play 3 chords in primary school. So I learnt D, A, and E, and that was all I knew for a long time. And then I put the guitar down. I learnt one other little thing. I learnt how to play the Blues Brothers Peter Gunn bass line, dun, 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 nice and simple. And then I put the guitar down till late high school, and that's when I started picking it up and playing again then. So I had probably 5 or 6 years without really playing guitar at all. And then when I turned 19, I really hurt my back. I couldn't walk for a while, so that was where I got a Strat, like a Squire, and started learning how to play blues. And a lot of that was from, I was living in Michigan at the time, actually, and I spent a bit of time there and doing some work. And yeah, it was the that was when the blues. I decided, that's kind of what I want to play, and it was really easy for me then because I knew what to listen to and to find music that inspired me to want to learn. I guess that's always been the thing with me. I haven't spent any time learning stuff that doesn't interest me guitar-wise. So I didn't have the same distractions that people have. They'll go to get lessons, for example, and the guy will be teaching them a style of music, or whoever might teach them a style of music that isn't in their interest. So it's hard for people to learn that way. I always felt like I'm just going to listen to the stuff that I like and try to pick the most out of that. So yeah, I guess my first, I started going to the jam nights around that time as well, 1999, 2000. My first gig that I did as a sit-in thing would have been somewhere around 2002, I think it was, from memory. That was the first actual gig I did as a guitar player for another band. But I've got that on video somewhere too. It's pretty funny. I had a lot of hair.
I didn't have so much beard and gray either.
Yeah.
What a lot of musicians, what influenced them not just to play, but what they like to play is usually what they see first early on, like as a teenager or whatever. Because the first couple of guitarists that I saw live, I saw Jimmy Page in the Yardbirds.
Yeah, wow.
In a high school cafeteria in Queens, New York.
Yeah.
And then I saw him at the Anderson Theater, the last show before he went back to England and then started Led Zeppelin. And the most influential guitarist I saw was the first time I saw a real concert in the theater at the Fillmore East. I saw Paul Butterfield Blues Band with Elvin Bishop.
Yeah, wow.
And I saw that, and I wasn't even playing the guitar yet. I think I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I went out and I got a guitar.
Yeah, wow. Oh, that's fantastic.
But it was the blues that did it.
Yeah, and same with me. I think the first recollection I have of friends that I met playing guitar, they were probably playing basic sort of blues stuff as well. Although the funny thing with me is I didn't go to see a lot of concerts up until or shows up until I was really playing guitar. I never really went to them as a kid. I saw a couple of local people play guitar, but I knew, especially when I was in Michigan, that was kind of like the time that changed music for me. Was when a guy that I was working with, Rob, played. He could play all the Eric Clapton unplugged stuff, and I didn't even know what it was, but I knew I really liked the sound of it. He had a great voice as well, and that was inspiration enough for me to go, man, this blues is awesome. He showed me sort of how the formula worked, and I couldn't quite remember it or work it out properly, but he was patient enough to show me a bluesy knee, and it's you're right. It's probably who you see early on or what you hear, and I think as a kid too, my favorite movie for it's still one of my top 3 movies is the Blues Brothers, and I think I knew that music back to front in terms of what I like to. It's just such a great movie, So we got someone else on the call. Here's this David.
Yes, it is I.
Hey, David. How are you? So you do have a webcam. I thought you were Mr. Recluse when it comes to.
No, I don't have a webcam. This is the cam from my laptop.
Oh, well, I mean, you got a camera at least anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Oh, and I have a microphone that looks like a dildo.
Great.
Okay.
Just don't put it in the wrong place.
So we've got a bit of a multi.
What is fine gentleman here?
We've got an international call happening. Here we go.
How you doing, David?
Hi. Hello.
So David's one of the guys I do a podcast with from time to time. We've done one at the moment, but
David from the chat just before.
Yeah.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, okay. I'm Wayne.
Oh, hello, Wayne. How are you doing, man? Where are you from?
I'm okay. Sydney, New York.
Cool. Lisboa, Portugal.
Yeah, David's all the way in Portugal, so we've got someone from most of the continents now. All we need is someone from you're from Russia and some of the Asian countries and Africa, and we're good to go, I think.
Sorry, Shane. Who's the other gentleman?
We've got Kerry from Canada.
Yep, just outside of Toronto here.
Hi, Kerry.
Hey, David.
Greetings, my friend.
I need to. Sorry. Go for it.
Are these two gentlemen in the Blues Forum?
No.
You should. It's a nice place to be.
Wayne should be. He plays the blues.
I'm not sure. Oh, you mean, is that what I'm interested in, or is it an actual internet forum?
No, the forum. Shane's forum. Shane's forum in the blues. I asked if you were there.
I have, because I found Shane because in 2011 I got the Fender Mustang amp because I had to replace all my equipment. It's a long story. I got that, and I started. I put this Fuse software on my computer, and I started programming different sounds, and I just stumbled on In the Blues, and you were posting your patches for the amplifier, and that's how I wound up here.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
3 or 4 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, the forum it started online, like it's full blown 1992 technology. So if you're like it's all the PHP BB, which is like the old school bulletin boards, but yeah, it's growing a lot and people are posting some cool stuff. So yeah, how are you enjoying the Mustang amp?
I'm loving it. I lost all my equipment in 2006 because we had a flood here.
Oh no.
And it was a lifetime's worth of equipment. I had original, like Dan Armstrong Orange Squeezer, the first MXR stereo chorus box, and I lost everything but my guitars. I got my guitars onto the second floor so they weren't damaged. And then I replaced everything, then there was a second flood. And what I replaced was just a couple of small practice amps for my home because I don't play out anymore. And but a whole bunch of effects pedals. So I lost them the second time, and I didn't have the money, or I didn't want to replace all those pedals again because now I'm living in an apartment. I got the Mustang 1, and I have a small USB mixer, and that's all I do. It's all I use for the past 5 years now. It's great.
Yeah, great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Like a lot of people didn't believe those amps were as good as what I was making out, and they sound great. I've used them for gigs and everything. The Mustang 3 and 4 especially, but yeah, they're great little amps.
I believe that because I really enjoyed your review of the PV Bandit amplifiers.
Yeah, they're killer.
I started using them in 1979 because I was going crazy, dragging around these heavy Fender amps and small Marshalls and replacing tubes.
Yeah. And
I tried one. Someone had one at some jam. I liked it. I bought one. And then in the 80s, I just started buying them used, and I wound up using them until like into 2000. Yeah. I used to bring 2 with me, and depending on the gig, I'd use 1 or 2. To string them together.
I used my PV Bandit last night. They just sound great. Like
fantastic.
Put it up against nearly any other tube or valve amp. Like they're loud and proud, man. Those things, and they take pedals extremely well. Like that's I think the advantage they have over some other amps, solid state amps, is that you can use your pedal rig and it'll rock. It'll just sound like what you'd expect. So yeah, oh cool. Sorry to hear about your gear. That losing your stuff twice or having 2 floods. That's no good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't lose my guitars, so I still have I have an Ovation 12 string from 1970s. I've got my Telecaster from 1988, an American Standard, the one with the Joe Barden pickups in it.
Yeah, great.
And a Strat from 1990, and I'm good.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Joe Biden pickups? You've obviously been using them a lot longer than me, but.
Well, I got one of them because the same reason that you did, because I didn't like the single coil hum. I was joining a band that was had a lot more rock and roll in it, and I needed a better pickup for the neck pickup, for the rhythm. So, and this was before he had like a regular company. I got his name from Danny Gatton, and I called him up, and he made me the rhythm pickup, the neck pickup. And I went to the audition, where I auditioned them and they auditioned me, and it sounded so good. And, you know, back in the 80s, $125 for a pickup was a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, DiMarzio's, Seymour Duncan's for like a Telly or a Strat were like $35 at the time.
Yeah, wow.
You know, so I immediately called him up and I ordered the bridge pickup, and I've been using it since it was either 88 or 89. Never taken them out. I still play it every day.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I went over to single coils for about one gig. I took the Bardens. I mean, I had them I had the single coil pickups back in my Telecaster for probably a month. But when I did one gig, where at a place that made the guitar unusable, I just went, no, I'm going straight back to the Joe Bardens because.
Well, I played. Well, I don't even. You can't really call them clubs. They were bars with live music in them, and sometimes you'd be like right next to the neon beer signs and stuff.
Yeah.
You can't have any single coil anywhere near it, you know.
Yeah. Cool. So, Kerry, what sort of guitars are you into, man? What sort of stuff you enjoy?
Actually, what I'm really doing is I just end up I bought myself a big baby Taylor just to start learning, and then it turns out that I just wasn't really practicing, and then it turns out I just start buying them, and it's like, what the hell am I doing here? And now I got too many. But what I usually do is I will, because pretty well, if you buy a $300 or $500 guitar now, you immediately you got to get a fret job done on it. So what I've been doing is basically starting to do fret jobs, start learning how to work on them, stuff like that.
That's great.
So yeah, because you're getting fret buzz and everything. For people who can just afford, like a $300 guitar, that's a lot of money to some people. You know, they're just starting out or whatever. I mean, it depends on the type of job you have. But,
and it's definitely a good skill to have, being able to do some stuff to your guitar. Like, I've never really messed with the frets on any of my guitars. It's something that I need to learn more about, but I can do the electronic side of it on the most part now, which is something that I find pretty valuable, especially just changing pickups. I used to have, I used to pay guys at shops to change pickups for me, but that's something that I've learned to basically do on my own. But yeah, it's a good skill to have, man. Good stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, changing. It's actually, I'm kind of mechanically inclined anyway. Like, I can work on my own car, stuff like that. And this actually works out the same way. If you can take it apart, you can put it back together. It's really that simple.
Doesn't work with me.
You just have to watch out you don't burn yourself with the soldering iron and.
You take things apart and they stay apart.
Yeah.
Now, if someone came to you and they purchased a new guitar, and that was in like you said, like in the $300 range, but they needed the frets leveled because it was unplayable because of the buzz. What would you charge them? I'm curious.
Probably I don't know. It could be like $100, $150. I think they do some. I think that's the usual price.
Yeah, once you find a good guitar tech or whatever you need to call them, before you do that, it's a great thing to have someone to bring your instruments to set them up and stuff.
Well, I mean, there's so many stores here that will do it for you, but they usually just ship it out to somebody else who will do it, whoever they have doing the work for them.
When I lived in New York, there were guitar repair shops, stores. It was Manny's Music, guitar builders. But then I moved upstate New York, where it's very rural. There's nothing here. There's been nothing here for 25 years.
Oh, really?
And,
Okay.
Yeah. And if I find a place in a bigger city, they want like $300 for a fret job, $200 to level the frets.
Well, I mean, if you have to change the frets, now that's a different story because.
Yeah, but even just leveling them, like $200, that's a lot of money.
I mean,
Yeah, we don't even
really
pay that here, which is pretty odd because Australia's like way more expensive than the rest of the world for just about anything you buy. Like, this will make everybody laugh. Bottle of Coke. How much do you think this is at a 7-Eleven or at like a convenience shop?
How much?
$1.50. Well, our Canadian dollar is down in the dump right now.
$4.80.
$4.
Okay.
Yeah, for a small bottle of Coke.
We have 2-liter bottles for 99 cents here.
Yeah. I with my experience in the US and very limited in Canada as well, it's definitely a lot cheaper over there. But yeah, our fret jobs here are about $100. You can get your frets polished or leveled or whatever on electric guitars. To get them replaced with like stainless steel frets from a guy who knows what he's doing, which is my preferred way of doing it. I leave that to an expert with all the tools. $400.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the time you have to put into it. And steel frets are a little harder too.
Yeah, they are. They'll last me forever now. These stainless steel 6105s, won't wear out.
That's
So
$400 to spend.
Does it sound different?
Look,
Steel?
it's funny because initially I thought it sounded brighter, but the guy goes, the tech I used said, don't let that confuse you. It's more to do with how polished they are than.
Okay.
He said over time they'll probably get. Oh, they won't corrode, but they won't. He goes, they're always brightest right at the start. And whether it's just the strings. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but they're just not worn out at all. They've literally, I used my Telecaster last night. That's the guitar that I had refretted, and it plays unbelievably great. He did such a good job, and so much better than those vintage frets that wore down after like 3 or 4 years. Like, it plays itself, that guitar. It's great.
But it's like having a new guitar again. So that $400 is well worth it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I couldn't have. That's one guitar I'll never sell. Like, the neck's perfect for my hand. Everything just feels good. So yeah, it was an investment for that. And I could do the same thing with my Strat. If I was to keep it, I'd have to get the neck changed and bigger frets. But I just can't justify that when I know I could probably find one that would do the job for me for probably around the same price by the time I get all that done. So.
That's what happened when I got my Telecaster. I was on like a lifetime search for the perfect Stratocaster. And after another few months of checking out guitars everywhere, I found the Telecaster. It fit my hand, just like you said when you're going to you want to sell your Strat now again too.
Yeah.
Because it fit. And it's 28 years I've been playing the same guitar.
Yeah, that's great.
It's great when you find the right one.
So, David, how's your gas lately, man? Have you ordered any more pedals since we last spoke?
Not yet, unfortunately. Oh, first of all, excuse me, I'm smoking. Okay.
That's all right. I can't smell it. So
smoking. Don't mind my smoking. It's a nasty habit.
So
I can't smell it, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Now it's a free world.
Portuguese people have this very nasty habit of smoking. Everybody smokes. And
not same with Canadians.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty universal thing, man.
Yeah. No, I didn't order any new pedals, not lately, but maybe next month, for sure. Some more and probably a Ditto loop pedal.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah. I got to check out one of those a couple of months back. They're really good.
Yeah, SC Electronics released the new version, the X4.
Okay. Cool. I haven't seen that yet.
No, you have to check it out, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I bought the small one when it came out. That pedal is fun.
It is good.
It's really fun. I mean, you can get so much practice time out of it without turning on a computer, without running any kind of loops or anything. You just make your own loops as you go along and keep building on them.
True. Yep.
I'm going to light up now.
What about you, Kerry? You'll be the last one left. No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke, so I won't be lighting one up. But I can grab it. I can grab it. One of these pens here. And,
I'm a pretty boring guy. I don't smoke or drink. The only thing I smoke is the good stuff, and that's not legal here yet.
Yeah. I don't. I drink infrequently. Like I went a couple of years without drinking at all, but I might have a couple of drinks a year. That'd be about it for me. I'm pretty much a lightweight now when it comes to that stuff.
I was just down in Jamaica for 2.5 weeks over the Christmas holidays, and I got my fill there. I do. I couldn't smoke all the time anyway. Like I work in the IT world, so you got to be thinking what you're doing.
Yeah, that's
drink
pretty
at
much
all.
one of the reasons. Well, I was in the same field. I've worked in IT for years as well, corporate IT stuff, and you need to be on your game. I know if I had a big night out and I was trying to think the next day, it just doesn't work.
I have a question. How many musicians, guitarists, because I know mostly guitarists and drummers, how many musicians do you know that aren't or haven't been into computers and stuff? Because it seems like I'm going back like even to like the 90s and even back to the 80s. Most of the older guys that I know that are musicians were all into computers very early on, which I was too, building PC clones before there were hard drives with 2 floppies and CompuServe and Genie.
I think maybe it's the tedium of IT that you want to learn music. There's something about it.
Yeah, maybe it's the mathematical. Yeah, maybe the
Maybe
mathematical part of it too.
I don't know about the math part, but
I always saw.
If you're a programmer, I guess.
Yeah, one of my good friends is a computer programmer. He's quite a great guitar player as well. He's an older guy, and he's done a lot of that sort of stuff. Another guy in my band, Brian, he's like an artistic sort of, he does a lot of Photoshop work and that. It's funny, over the years, I've known quite a number of tech guys that play. So maybe it has something to do with that.
Yeah, that's what I meant too, because it's not a surprise anymore. Not just musicians who are into computers, but tech guys. Like if my internet tech has to come over here, 10 minutes in, he'll tell me all about his banjo playing and his guitar playing, and he winds up hanging out for 2 hours.
Yeah. Let me just quickly say, sorry, I cut you off.
No problem.
Anyone who's just joined the chat as well, or the live stream, I should say. I keep calling it the chat. It's like from 1995. If you want to join in on the live video part where we can all chat, I just posted a link in the. Or if you want to join in the Hangout, I should say. I got all the terms wrong. Just follow the link I'm posting right now, and you can join via webcam, and that's how you get on. I'm trying this for the first time, and appreciate the guys for joining in. This is cool fun. We definitely have to do this more than me just rambling on.
Nice.
Did you have to put the Google Hangout on your that I clicked on your Google Plus page? Because my Google page doesn't have that, even though I use the Hangout. Maybe this is why no one joined.
Yeah, I had to manually post it, and it wouldn't. There's a share button somewhere from the window. The window that I'm like, I see all you guys in. I'm not sure if you see the same thing as me or how it works, but there's literally a share button on the top left, and it posted it to Google Plus. It would be great if they also had a way to share this to other social networks. But
that's good because a lot of people are trying to figure this out.
When I initially clicked on the link that you had there, and it takes me to my Google Plus page, the page, and I had to click on join in order to. I could see the feed and everything, but then there was still one button I had to still click on in order to get in.
Okay, cool. And it obviously didn't ask you for any. Sorry, David, go for it.
I had to install a plugin. I took the link, and then I had to install a plugin, and my PC started crapping on me.
Yeah, you probably had to install Java or whatever it is, or some sort of.
You have to get rid of that P4.
Yeah, yeah.
Get into the new quad-core PCs.
Yeah, I'm using Firefox, and it gave me a couple of questions: permission and allow and remember and stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing
use
is
Firefox
now
as well.
I have to keep clicking on as people are talking. I'm literally clicking on the windows. So if I don't click back on myself, I don't come back up. Or when someone starts talking, originally it was doing it automatically, but because I clicked manual mode, it's not doing that now. So
Okay, so if you don't click manual, it will do that automatically.
yeah. So I made the mistake of clicking on the windows just to see what would happen. So I've learned a little bit. So yeah, if the editing looks pretty bad to the people watching on the stream, that's because sometimes I'm forgetting to click on each person's little face box here.
Yeah, I noticed that whenever you talk, you go to the big screen. Then
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was automatic. It looks good on my end here.
It should be automatic. I shouldn't have played with it. So next time I do this, I'll definitely just not click on the boxes. I think what I coughed or something and it went back to me before, and I was like, oh no, that's not what I want to come up when I make a noise. I should know if my chair was squeaking, it swapped views. So yeah. Anyway,
Do you see? Is there something to click on to mute the microphone? Because when I participate, because it's already X'd out.
If you move your mouse around on the screen,
okay,
then you'll see a little box at the top.
Yeah, because when I participate in podcasts with Skype, you're always ready to mute if someone's playing something, or if you have to cough or whatever.
Yeah.
Or get a cup of coffee or something.
Some people don't mute when they should, but anyway.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
I don't want to be the internet cop.
Yeah. No. Once you get used to podcasting,
It's Shane's Hangout. So, the cop tonight.
Yeah. No,
here we go.
has to.
We've got a new guest here who's been a big supporter of my channel over the last couple of years, I guess now. Mr. Kareem. How are you, man?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, absolutely. You're a bit quiet, but it should be all right.
Good day, Kareem.
Hey, Kareem.
Hello, Kareem. This is my first time doing this sort of thing, so I've just downloaded the Google plugins for that Hangout thing too.
Cool. Oh, thanks for joining in, mate. I appreciate it.
So I'm in Tasmania, for those who are interested. So about, I don't know, what are we, 500 kilometres south of you, Shane, I think, in the Southern Hemisphere. And,
somewhere like that. Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of the Freaky Prawns stuff online, so I thought I'd just show him a pedal.
Thank you, my friend.
I picked that up in a local guitar shop for like $200. I don't think the guy knew what he had. So
What is it? What is it? Sorry, for people watching.
The Empress Super Delay Vintage.
The David Gilmour thing, isn't it?
Crazy.
Nice.
Crazy amount of stuff going on there, like crazy amount of delay setting, looper type thing. It's just, yeah, I've not even fully explored that one, but as Shane knows, I've got crazy bad gas, like 20.
The only pedal that I use is, with the Mustang app, is the PC Electronic.
Yeah.
They're good. They're nice.
Can I ask a question to Kareem?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Kareem, are you a David Gilmour fan?
Yeah, just recently I've been totally getting into him. I bought a couple of David Gilmour pedals. I'll go grab those and show you those too.
Cool.
Dude, you should do a review on them.
Yeah, it's funny doing YouTube reviews. It's taken me years to develop a thick enough skin to get it, to put stuff out and have people criticize you. It's a daunting thing for a lot of people. I think the YouTube the YouTube videos. It's something I had to get used to. But I think
as long as it's some kind of
Depends on the
Good
reviewers.
criticism.
Yeah,
If it's all negative, you know that those are just the type of people they are. So they'll never satisfy those people.
Yeah, I posted stuff on the Fender Mustang amp group on Facebook.
Yep.
And usually what someone does is I'll say, this is what my Telly sounds like through this particular patch that I'm using with the Joe Barden pickups. And then I just started posting a screenshot of the patch that I, tweaked.
Oh, yeah.
Because they usually want to know, how I got that sound. And it's actually easier to give people a screenshot of the Fuse software, and then they just go from there, as opposed to like trying to post the patch somewhere and having people download it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that. Oh, sorry, Kerry, go for it.
I was gonna say I don't think it's up to you to give them the link to the patch anyway. They should be able to go find it themselves.
No, it's one that I make.
Oh, you made it yourself. Okay.
Yeah, I noodle around, but I'm retired. Another word for like old.
Yeah.
No, I'm not old.
I was going to say, I think the only big problem with the Fender Fuse software is, uploading patches is not as easy as it should be.
Exactly, right.
You got to know that there's a little login button down the right. You got to create the account, but also what I notice sometimes too, if I put Fender, like if I made a patch on the amp, transferred it to the computer, I'd then have to modify it and resave it to be able to upload it. Otherwise, it would say it was made by Fender and not by me. So
exactly, right.
Yeah, that is a little bit on the tricky side. Some of that stuff.
Yeah. So when they see the screenshot, they can say, "Oh, you use," because everyone who uses the Mustang and Fuse, they can recognize the amp, and then they just try and match certain things.
Yeah, that's right. So Mr. Kareem's back now with he's got something in his hand here. What do we got? Oh, I can't really see it. It looks cool.
I can't see.
Is that MXR?
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's the Empress.
Pump with the script load, and this is the pièce de résistance, I guess.
Oh, I remember those. Great.
Yeah. With US power.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Well, it just plugs straight into the mains.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So that's the driver, the Butler. So yeah,
who makes that pedal?
So that's they're called BK Butler tube driver.
Who originally made that pedal? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure BK Butler, originally made them, and David Gilmour's very famous for using them. Actually, the guys who do the Pink Floyd show, the Australian guitarist, he has about 2 or 3 of these on his pedal board, I think.
Because it looks like the old Neutron pedals.
Shane, may I ask you a favor?
Yeah, sure.
Can you get a hold on the Australian Pink Floyd members and do a podcast with them?
Yeah, all right. I can check it out. I didn't even know there was a Pink Floyd tribute band or whatever.
It is, man. They're huge. They're big.
Okay, cool. I'll see what I can do. I wonder if. Yeah. Okay. All right. I've got their names here, but I'll see what I can do.
They've been here a couple of times here in Portugal.
Oh, far out. Cool. So we're doing the wrong thing. You just start a tribute band. That's how you got to. If you got a favorite band. I always wanted to do like a Dire Straits tribute band. I think if I was to do like a full-blown cover band, it would have to be Dire Straits. They just got too many cool songs, and I could wear the headband as well and get the comb over thing going on as well.
What's your favorite Dire Straits song?
Oh, it'd have to be Sultans of Swing. That's one of the songs that made me want to play guitar. It was. That's the first time I kind of realized I liked the whole sing a little bit of something and then play a little bit of something kind of thing.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like Knopfler's solo stuff as well. Like Sailing to Philadelphia is a great album. He's just got a lot of really cool. He's his solo stuff's almost more like JJ Cale than, you know, it's funny when you Wikipedia JJ Cale, the first two names that come up are Clapton and Mark Knopfler. So that's that sort of sound that I really love. I really love that sort of just laid back kind of great, tasteful, you know, guitar playing and whatever else. It's cool.
Just stand corrected. Damon Butts on the chats just clarified that Chandler made the tube drivers first and then BK Butler.
It was Chandler, okay.
Okay, cool. Hey, David, I'm going to just zoom in on you. You can talk for a sec, man. I've just got to step out. Sorry, for about 30 seconds. And the automatic cameraman's not doing its thing, so I won't put any of the guys I've just met today under the pressure, mate. But it's all you. I'll be back in 30 seconds, I promise.
Okay, dude. Okay, man.
Okay. 30 seconds. That will be good.
Why were you people talking while I was not here?
About your smoking.
I think we're mostly talking about right away at the beginning about the Google Hangouts. You know, how we all got on here and stuff. Because the more everyone here starts to contribute to this, and you know, and then everyone will know more about everyone else's Google Hangouts as well.
Yeah, I came late to the show. I didn't get any news feed about the live stream.
Well, I just happened to check my email, and I found that Shane was on live, so I came there because I missed him live since last summer, whenever he started. I kept missing him live, so I got there, and then he said that he was using the Google Hangout, so that's why I inquired, you know, when he said like maybe someone could join, and I just quickly started clicking away, you know.
I just happened upon it myself. I just check my subscriptions. I get updates from if there's a new video or something from subscriptions.
Yeah.
That's how I find it. How I found it.
This
is the first Hangout on it.
Yeah, I found this live stream today by accident. Actually, I was getting ready to bed because it's 3:49 a.m. here.
Yeah, it's 10 to 11 here.
Yeah, same here.
I gotta get up early in the morning. Yeah, Wayne, you're in the same time zone as I am. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting part of doing this kind of thing too, because I usually do podcasts or listen to them and sometimes join in on them, and someone's in California, someone's in Dallas, Nova Scotia, and Scotland, which no one can really understand them.
Or England. So, David, you're a musician also?
I'm a hobbyist.
Okay.
I'm not exactly a musician. I'm a hobbyist.
It's a dedication to be a musician.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
At least to try to make a living at it.
I can't, man. I'm not that good.
It's tough, man. Like the only way you can really make a living I'm back, by the way. Sorry. The only way you can really make a living is if you got to have, I think the X, not to use the same name as the TV show, but that X Factor personality and look mixed with great pop songs. That's about it. Either that, or if you're happy just playing cover bands, and you could probably make a living doing that here, doing the weddings and.
That's interesting you said about the cover bands, because at the open mics, I'm used to hearing people doing some original music. I mean, of course, everybody plays covers. It's just something you want to sound like them. But there was a couple that played the other day. This one, it's a coffee shop, and he's really trying to push the open mic thing. And I go to record, and anyway, he had a Valentine thing, so he had this couple there. And that's all they do is cover songs. I asked them, well, do you have any original songs that you do? And they said, no. They said, we have nothing to say. We just want to, like usually, you have an original song because you have something you want to say, right?
Yeah, that's it.
But they said, no, we just do cover songs. That's it. That's all they have ever done for the years.
It's funny that people treat music like that. Like, I just... It's almost like being a painter or an artist of whatever type, and all you want to do is copy, the music that copy the paintings that other people have done, like, all you want to do is paint the Mona Lisa over and over, you know. Like,
they're doing it as a business, so they're out there making money.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Sorry,
yeah, to get paid. So probably not full time, but on the weekends or evenings or whatever. But that's what they're doing as they're basically a cover band.
Other than the open mics, we always had to do, like, if we played a bar, not in an open mic, we had to play at least, if there were 3 sets, we had to play at least 2 sets of cover material.
Yeah.
For us to play original material, because people come and they want to hear songs that they know usually. And then if you keep going back to the same places, people start to get to know your music then, And now with YouTube and everything, people can just find you now.
I don't know if you ever heard of this YouTube personality. His name's Scott Grove. But
Yes.
Oh, you have. Okay.
I think everybody's watched at least a couple of his videos.
Yeah, but he's always coming up, right, if you type something in. Being a working, because he said, he laid it out on the line. He says, being a working musician, you got to play what they want. It doesn't matter what you like.
Yes, absolutely.
Play what you want, what they want.
If they scream out Freebird, you got to play Freebird.
Yeah. Exactly, And that's about his biggest jokes, right?
Because they'll never stop screaming it all night until you do.
You better learn it.
Sing Freebird!
Well, I guess being from the South too. I mean, that would be.
That's definitely the song. That's the song for the there, man. That's every open mic night. I've actually played it at a couple of places in Florida at jam nights, and man, people eat that stuff up, man. They absolutely. It's a great song, but that has to be the most requested song in the U.S. I'm guessing.
Southern, I mean, those are Southern guys, right? Leonard Skinner was.
Oh yeah.
And I'm referring back to 1975. They were screaming that out.
They were asking for that,
Oh, screaming it all night long.
Yeah.
Hey Shane.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Can you do any Metallica?
Yeah, I posted a top 10 most requested most requested songs at a blues jam or something like that. And "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi is always a good one to hear when you're doing a blues gig. That's always fun. Man. Know any AC/DC is another good one. That's,
AC/DC songs. Gary Moore, Still Got the Blues for You.
Yeah.
That's always requested too. And everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
Have you guys heard that "Called for Stormy Monday" song? That sort of parody of Stormy Monday, where he goes through all the different. It's basically he goes, that called for Stormy Monday, but Mustang Sally is just as bad. Free bird flies on Friday and all this sort of stuff. Like it literally just goes through the mockery of trying to play blues live, and it's it's a pretty funny song. It's on YouTube. If you type in "Called for Stormy Monday," it's definitely it's definitely a good laugh for those watching on the stream.
Besides open mic, do you ever play whole full evening gigs playing just your own material?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got one residency every month, once a month, at a place in the city here, and then I also play. I'm doing a live to air show. It's not for a few more months now, but basically they've been a really big supporter of my music and the blues stuff and all that kind of stuff. So we'll probably do like a 70-30 split, sort of 70% originals, 30% blues. But the blues that we play is kind of I'm not going to say we do anything new with it, but we put our own feels to stuff that would be not. We take an old Robert Johnson song and play it super funky, just to mix it up. So
you cover the song, but not the actual recording.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never really been great at mimicking stuff perfectly anyway. So I always love that West Coast sort of Tommy Castro sound, that funky blues kind of stuff. So a lot of my rhythmic ideas sort of coming from that, from his sort of playing. I always loved the sort of funk blues kind of stuff, and I love really rock and shuffles and all that. So I'll take a song, like half the time it's more just down to the feel of the whatever rhythm I play, and then I'll just start singing. Like, because with the blues, you can sing any blues song over any blues song. They all fit. It's just about how you execute the vocals, I suppose. So yeah, I'll just, even a song like Red House, I'll play over Crossroads or whatever. It doesn't really, you can mess with the blues quite a bit. It's good fun.
Shane, where's your residency at?
It's at the Brunswick Hotel in Sydney Road. Yeah, it's nothing. They're a big supporter of original music. They're one of the few venues that really has a lot of original music of all sorts, and mixed skills as well. But yeah, we love it. The sound stage is really, like, the sound is really good. The guy who does the audio and the lights and all that. So it's just a good, fun venue to play, and it's one of the first. I think it might have been the first venue I ever played at or one of the first two anyway that I played at when I first started getting out live, and I've been playing there ever since. So yeah, it's just good. I'm sorry, who said that?
Weeknight, usually.
Oh, I'm having trouble hearing you, mate. I'll turn you up a bit. Sorry, try it again.
During the week.
Oh, okay. No, it's on a Saturday. 5 till 8 p.m. Nice and early. So if you're ever in Melbourne, mate, I got all my gig listings, which is few and far between at the moment, up at my Shane's Band website, just shanesband.com. They've got our gigs and stuff up there. So yeah, it's cool.
There's a place in Toronto here that's geared towards open mics too. It's this place called the Supermarket. Okay. It's like a restaurant, and in the back part of the restaurant, they have a stage set up, and I guess it's like the back half they turn into like a hall. People can dance back there and the whole thing. And they got their own PA system set up, and just for open mics. And it's like the place in Toronto to go, like if you're like an original artist.
Yeah, cool.
Actually, I haven't even been down there yet.
Sorry.
Just heard about it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we've got open mic nights all over the place here, but I don't know if there's a sort of like a dedicated venue for it so much as there is just.
When you play an open mic there, do you bring? Are there usually amplifiers there already provided? Because when I played in New York, there was always a drum set. There were always amplifiers. You only brought your guitars.
Yeah, in Australia, at least in Melbourne here, most people bring their own amps as well, but that's kind of the reason I bought the PV Bandit, was because a lot of people still don't bring their amp, and they can plug into that, and I don't mind. So we've got bass amp and drum kit provided, as well as a PA system. Usually, most guitar players would bring their own stuff on the most part, and sometimes
that was the reason I bought the PV Bandit originally years ago, because I needed an amp that was not expensive like my Fenders and stuff, and it was much more portable to drag around to open mics and jams, and and then I wound up just using it for everything.
They're a bit like that, eh? They're great. What about in Toronto? Do most people bring their own?
No, they usually set up the gear for them, but they do have amps and stuff like that. But some bass players will bring their own amp, just because they have a bass amp, and they don't always supply that. It depends on the open mic how good it is. I mean, the one we had at the vegan restaurant that eventually shut down, I was even trying to help out the girl that was running it, and we got a bigger mixer, and I had some DI boxes set up so they can just plug it in, make it as simple as possible for the person to plug in, right?
Oh, that's great.
But that got to be too much work for this little thing that we had for it was only on for 2.5 hours. And it's like at the beginning of the night, it's like you're buzzing around for a half hour getting all this stuff rigged up.
Yeah.
How long do each person usually play? How long
Usually about 3 songs. Depends how busy it is, really.
Yeah.
Could be 2 songs. The place we have here in Markham, this is a place I'm at. It's a suburb of Toronto. They have a bunch of open mics around here, but usually they'll play about 2 to 3 songs. So it depends. Like I said, it depends how busy it is. The Duchess, that's a bar. They could have 20 people in one night.
Does everyone here live or near or in a city?
Yeah. I'm in a major city here, 6 million.
Yeah, because that's the problem where I am. There's no cities near me, so there's really only bars and bar bands. No open mics. I haven't seen open mics in like 25 years.
Hey Wayne.
Yeah.
Did you say before that you knew Danny Gatton, or?
Well, I heard his in the 80s. I moved upstate here, and a local radio station in Woodstock, New York, was playing. It was the first time I heard him. They were playing it. It was like a public radio station. So I called the radio station. They gave me his name, and then somehow I found his phone number. I don't even remember how. And I called him. I spoke to him on the phone. He told me all about the pickups. And then he gave me Joe Barden's name and phone number, and I called Joe Barden, and that was that. But when I first heard Danny Gatton, no one else that I knew ever heard of him. And he just blew me away.
Wow.
Said, because I always played a Telly from the early 70s. Telecaster was my second good guitar. I started with like a pawn shop guitar, and I noodled around on that for a while and never got anywhere until someone else came over my house, and he brought like a real guitar. Mine was literally a $25 guitar from a pawn shop. He brought over an old SG Les Paul, the ones that are Les Pauls, but they're SGs. And once I got my hands on a real instrument, I immediately saved my money, and I went out and I bought a Les Paul first, and then I switched to a Telecaster, and I've been playing Fender ever since. I've had other guitars, but I always go back to Fender and Telecaster.
So that's crazy. So you spoke to Danny Gatton to find out about the Joe Barden pickups.
Yeah. It's funny because I've spoken to other people, like knowing and not knowing who they were actually, and when you tell someone else like, oh yeah, I was over here with this guy, and like before when I said I saw Jimmy Page in a high school cafeteria, they said, well, what did you do? What did you do? And I said, they were like normal, What did I do? I said, hey, I like your guitar, and he said, okay, check it out, No, Jimmy Page didn't do that,
Hey, Kerry, I also wanted to ask you, did you ever make it to Jeff Healey's House of Blues in Toronto before that closed down?
No, I did not. Sorry.
I walked past it the one time I visited Toronto and it was closed, so I was just curious.
No.
Can I ask you all a question?
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah. Am I the only one who's seeing Karim at the screen right now with a pedal on his hand?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
A pedal on his head?
On his hand.
Yeah, he's holding it. Yeah, it must have frozen on you or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, David, you also had someone give you a goodbye. Amanda said goodbye to you, I think. I don't know if you saw the chat. I've actually been ignoring the text chat here, so if you guys.
It's kind of hard to go back and forth, though.
Yeah, it is, especially when I don't just sit here quietly and look like
Can we add the chat to the side of our window? Is that possible?
That's a really great.
I think you can click on that. I don't know if I should try it or not.
Because I did it on someone else's one time, but I was clicking all over the place and I lost everything,
Yeah,
so
I think we can text chat. I think we can text chat within the window that's. There is a group chat on Google Plus, but everyone else is on. Well, those of everybody who's left is on the YouTube video link. So,
yeah. That's what I just clicked on. I clicked on the chat on the top left, and then it just opened up a box, but there's nobody in it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's empty now. So much for that.
It's interesting because I can only see your faces on YouTube. I can only see your faces on YouTube. On the Hangouts, I cannot.
Okay, something must have glitched on your side, man. Because yeah, I'm looking at it in a separate window.
I had to
I
shut
didn't
down
look at the Google yet.
I had to shut down the YouTube link because I was getting a double talking. It's like,
Yeah, mine's still open, and I see what everyone else is seeing now. What I did, I had to mute it.
Yeah, I put it on pause as well, just so it doesn't chew too much of my data while I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I was going to say, I think I've been streaming for I think over 2 hours, maybe longer. I'm not too sure how long the stream's been going, but it might be lunchtime for me. I was only planning on doing about 45 minutes to an hour today, and it's like I think closer to 2.5 hours. So
I don't hear your stomach grumbling yet. So
yeah, neither do I.
No lunch for you yet.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Super Bowl to end because then everyone I know will be available again.
Yeah.
Well, you know, DKG Custom, I think they have a record on there. I think it's like 8 hours in a Google Hangout.
Yeah, well, I'll have to come prepared next time, and we'll get a few people on, and maybe just do this would be a great sort of podcast thing, you know, just chatting about stuff and throwing it up on the iTunes thing that I do too. I might even do that with some of this. I might cut down this podcast into this live stream into a podcast. If you guys are cool with me, maybe using some of it for my
absolutely.
podcast. Is that cool with you guys?
Absolutely.
And
because this way I'll give the link to people I know so they can see me and you guys.
All right, cool. The live stream will be on YouTube. There's no doubt about that. That'll be saved as a file, but I might take the audio from it and put it together in an audio form. Sorry, Kerry, you were about to say something?
No, I was say I did actually see that documentary before, the open mic documentary, and I was thinking when I saw it, I was like, my God, it's not that crazy here in Canada. I think it's just because we say sorry so many times in a day. I think we like have a record for saying sorry all the time. But, it's pretty aggressive. That was pretty aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, that place is really different to normal. I don't want to say normal, but to most venues, it's very, very unique. It's not everywhere else is nothing like that place, and that's why I thought it would make for a good documentary.
And it wasn't because you were there doing a documentary. That's just the way it normally is.
No, it's like that all the time. Hey, my automatic cameraman's working again. Cool, but no, it's literally like that all the time. So yeah, it's really unique. You get some pretty interesting characters. That's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you go on my channel on YouTube, like I don't really post anything myself. I just record these some of these open mics. So some people don't have their own YouTube channel, so I'll just put it on my channel and then I link it onto their Facebook or something. So
cool. That'd be great. I love it.
If you want to see a few there.
Cool.
The David Bowie one, it was pretty good. Not bad.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely post it into anywhere where I can find it, and I'll check it out. I've got a couple of questions from the chat room here. Crush Proof is asking me something. I'm not sure what he's asking. He's just saying my name. So, sorry, guys. Oh well, maybe not. Sorry, guys. Yeah, someone was. Crush Proof is not asking me a question. He just keeps typing my name like I'm not too sure what's going on. Anyway, never mind. I'll answer him off air later if there's a question. But hey, thanks so much, guys, for sticking around. I'm starting to fade. I've had more caffeine than food today, so that's not a good thing. I need to get some food into me. But
thank you.
Thank you. I'm not a Hangout virgin anymore. Thank you.
Yeah. It's definitely the first time I've done this, and yeah, it won't be the last. So it's funny because when I look at you guys talk, your audio sync is perfect, and when I see my video, it's out. Is it still out to you guys, or does it look like it is out?
When I see it, it's out. Yeah, that's why sometimes I don't respond because I don't see your facial expression is different than what your voice comes out. You know.
Are you on wire or by wireless?
No, I'm on a really good connection straight in, and I'm on an Ethernet connection, and I'm on my main rig here. I think it's got something to do with my webcam. I think it might take photos in 720p, but it might not stream very well in HD.
I'm on a laptop with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yours is fine. Okay. Yeah, so much for buying a good camera. I'm gonna have to get this sorted out. And
what kind of camera you got?
My battery is dying.
Microsoft Live Cam. Yeah. The reason I want to use this camera is because the picture quality is not bad, but the sync on the audio is terrible. It might be the fact I'm also using this. Maybe I should just use the camera on the mic. So I'll work it out. Get it working.
See, I have a desktop also, a separate webcam and a mixer, but I wound up just using the laptop all the time because of the convenience. It's all in one, and I've even heard myself on playbacks from different shows, and the laptop sounds fine, you know. So I just leave it. I use this with the Google Hangout to call people, telephone. I got the Google phone number, and I just call everyone, and I can do everything hands-free.
If you got good bandwidth, it works fine. That's what I was using in Jamaica to call up to Canada here. My mother's in a retirement home. She's got dementia, right? So I had to call her back every once in a while and just make sure she's okay. And it was fine.
The only thing is, like, you especially if you're using Skype, it's really not good to fall asleep with your little headphones on. And if someone calls you, you just, you're sleeping, all of a sudden, that just happened to me yesterday, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Good alarm clock.
Well,
a definite, it's a perfect wake-up call.
Literally.
No, thanks, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed chatting to people, watch the vids, and support the channel.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I met everybody here.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's all. You know what? I'm always surprised how nice everyone is, and I know I shouldn't be now, but the few people that I speak to, like I didn't know David. I got on a Skype call with him. He's lovely. I've spoken to several other people on YouTube or around the YouTube channel or on the Facebook thing or whatever. I sometimes get calls as well. And everyone's been great.
I've only left you comments here and there, and you've just replied to them. But until you actually speak to someone and see them, then it's like, then you know them. This was great.
Yeah. Wow.
This was great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, guys, and thanks to everyone that's in the chat room as well. Sorry, I'm reading the chat as I'm talking, getting confused again. But Crushproof said he was messing around before. That's why he kept saying my name over and over. I don't know why, but anyway, I'll leave that on.
Now I have something legitimate. Now I have something legitimate to tell everybody when they say, "What were you doing when you weren't watching the Super Bowl?" No.
Yeah. You're having a worldwide conference call.
Absolutely, and they'll understand it too.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks again, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye people.
Bye.